with all the drama going on in Liverpool, Mo Salah, we don't want to recount all of those things that happened, but the longer short of the story is that Mo Salah didn't travel with them to Inter Milan for that particular Champions League game, and it was, I don't know how I felt about it, but I feel like watching the way Liverpool actually played at Inter Milan, I don't even see any much difference from the gameplay that of Liverpool in the Premier League, because it was almost predictable. It's not like almost, it was predictable. It was the same thing that was expected. We saw these two teams have the same number of shots. The both team had 12 number of shots, but the only difference is that Liverpool had more number of shots on target. They have about six shots on target, and Inter Milan had two shots on target, but Liverpool had 51% possession of that game. But at the end of the day, these both teams, with the number of shots they had and the number of shots on target that Liverpool had, which boils down to finishing, because how do you get 12 shots, number of shots, and six on target, but you weren't able to you weren't able to convert any one of them to a goal? Now, Inter Milan on their own part, you are at your home stadium, you had 12 number of shots, and then you couldn't convert the two that you had on target to any form of goal. And we have people like Lautaro Martinez leading that line, and Marcus Thuram, which of course, if you watch the way the Thuram brothers play, I mean, you would expect, for instance, I watched the Inter Milan versus Juventus the last time that the Thuram brothers were competing against each other and all of that. So you'd expect that kind of fire to come into play here, because you are playing one of the best teams in the Premier League, one of the biggest, the big six in the Premier League, and you have to put your best foot forward. What do you mean you can't finish games? And Liverpool also went there and felt the hand of Premier League teams, because why are you not finishing well? Premier League is one team, one league that when people from other leagues are playing, they play with their hearts out, because they know that it's not an easy game to always win, because Premier League is more physical, it's more competitive, it's more fast paced and all of that. Then you see Liverpool just miraculously, or will I say luckily, getting that win, because that game ended at 1-0 with that Sobozar's penalty at 70th minute and all of that. So imagine there was no penalty, this would have been a draw, and it would have been another point dropped for Liverpool at the Champions League, and I don't think is good for them. Right now they are sixth in the table for the Champions League, and we know that a couple of teams are yet to play their games, and everybody would want to win and all of that. But let's move away from all this, and I hope Mo Salah is able to resolve the issue he had with the club, because it's just unfortunate that this kind of stuff is happening to him at this time, because I think it would have been better that he traveled to Inter Milan with them than not, and be on the bench than not traveling at all. I don't know. Yes, Barcelona game, which I feel, remember at the earliest time I told you that this game were filled with a few of surprises, because Barcelona played against Frankfurt, and we saw Frankfurt beating Barcelona in the first half with 1-0, and it felt like. And this is Camp NOU. Let's pause. Since Barcelona moved back to Camp NOU, they've not lost a game at Camp NOU. And I think it's a momentum that gave me the audacity to actually want to watch the second half, knowing fully well that something would come up. And guess who made that miracle happen? Is Koundé, a defender. Koundé, and you know that Koundé has had some bad games in the field recently, and how people have criticized him and all of that. Who would have thought that it's Koundé that would just be the savior? And he did that in 3 minutes. He did that in 3 minutes, bro. He did that in 3 minutes. Look at it this way, right? Coming back in second half, he scores that particular goal 5 minutes into the second half. That's at 50th minute, and at 53 minutes, he scores another banger. Bro, and I knew at that point that Barcelona had to defend this game, because they've not lost a game at Camp Nou since moving back, and I don't think they would want to start now. And I'm glad that they actually defended that particular game, because it was so disappointing at 21 minutes when Frankfurt got that goal, and you are like, Frankfurt, Barcelona, where to where? Do you understand? And funny enough, Barcelona had 16 shots on target, which I believe that if they were cleaning, look, one thing about playing football game is not about shooting. It's about how good are you at the final third. Like, what is your decision making at the final third? Is it sharp? Is it precise? And is it productive? Because if it is not, you keep having loading number of shots and number of shots on target without getting anything. How do you, but for this case, I feel they got 16 number of shots. That's Barcelona with 8 number of shots on target, which I think is fair enough. I mean, it's just about half of the total number of shots that they got, but you could have expected at least about maybe like 4 or 5 goals from this particular game. But I'm glad they ended up in getting 2 goals. You see Frankfurt get 6 number of shots on target, number of shots, and 4 number of shots on target, while Barcelona had possession of that game. Like, when I mean possession, they had possession of that game. That's 73% possession of the game, completed way more passes than Frankfurt. So it was a good game for Barcelona, but at the end of the day, it could have been more better if they were more clinical at the final third, because I feel like Barcelona plays a highlight football, and I think the level of sharpness and intelligence and decision making process at that final third is something that could be better for them to win games. Now, there's Tottenham Hotspur, my neighbors, that went to win a game luckily. Now, get me. They are playing against Slavia Praha. And Slavia Praha is not like it's a bad team, but it's one team that every good team in the Premier League, in La Liga, in Bundesliga, in Serie A that wants to get their win could actually work over these people and get the win. So it was easy for my people to manipulate. But then again, I feel like it was lucky for them, because the first goal in that game was an own goal by Praha. And I feel like if that own goal didn't happen, there might not be that ginger for Silver Praha to fight. And it was at the point of fighting to keep their win, or to equalize, or to not make it more, that resulted to those 2 penalties. The one that Kudus took, and the one that Simons took. Kudus took his own at 50th minute, and Simons took at 79th minute, which, if you ask me, I would say it's some sort of indiscipline at the side of the Praha. Because if you are fighting this kind of game, if you're fighting this kind of fight, you should do it in a way that the team don't get to be punished at least twice. Why? It is okay for the team to get punished once, but twice is not a good omen. So I think they need to work on whatever it is that they are doing at their training, work on their people. Tottenham was not, I didn't believe, I said that it was luckily for Tottenham, because I don't think they deserve that win. Because how do you have 14 number of shots, 11 shots on target, like 14 total shots, 11 shots on target, and you didn't convert anyone to a goal? That screams mediocrity. Tottenham Hotspur is known for mediocrity, and I can't even lie. They are my neighbors, and I see this claim of mediocrity. So let's just not talk about it. You have possession of the game, 61 possession, whereas these people, Slavia Praha, got 12 total shots and 5 shots on target, which I believe that if they were also even clinical, out of those 5, they could have at least converted 2, because there were 2 that were very close. And yeah, so that is it. Like, out of 14 shots, Tottenham Hotspur fans, please help me analyze this thing. 14 shots, 11 shots on target, and you couldn't convert anyone. You depended on just 2 penalties and an own goal to win a game 3-0. Doesn't really make. But what matters is the fact that they won that game. They carried the entire 3 points, and they have advanced on the table for the Champions League. And yes, there is going to be Arsenal game today, Wednesday, and I can't wait to watch it. There's going to be Real Madrid, who also have a lot of their players out that won't be playing. Arsenal to have a lot of their players that won't be playing. And yeah, Gabriel Jesus is back. And let's see what we can make out of it this time around. We've not lost any game in the Champions League, and I don't think tonight will be one of those. We're not going to lose anyone, because Arsenal must give me a trophy this season, at least a trophy, and at most quadruple. I will see you all in the next one. This is Chidima Talks Football, and thank you for joining us. Bye.